العلم أشراف مطلب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدمه. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. أما بعد، كون عبدالله كاريو الدين مبني على المصالح جلبها والدرج والقبائح للقبائح فإن تزاحم عدد المصالح يقدم الأعلى من المصالح وضده تزاحم المفاسد يرتكب الأدنى من المفاسد. طيب, this قاعدة is good or relates to مصالح and مفاسد. الدين مبني على المصالح. The religion is based upon منفعة and benefits في جلبها, in its attraction or attracting or bringing about benefit. ودرء للقبائح and preventing or removing القبائح يعني المفاسد. So that is the قاعدة. مصلحة means منفعة, that which is beneficial or that which has a benefit, whether it be a worldly benefit or a benefit to do with the akhirah and the religious benefit. طيب, that's the قاعدة. دليل القاعدة, the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-A'raf: قل إنما حرم ربي الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن والإثم والبغي بغير الحق وأن تشركوا بالله ما لم ينزل به سلطانا وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. These are the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has made the fawahish haram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the fawahish haram. Fawahish and those acts which are fi fuhsh, that which is apparent and that which is hidden, and oppression, and also that you worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that which He hasn't given you authority over. وَأَن تَقُولَ عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, and to say upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that which isn't correct. طيب, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes these things haram, the opposite of these things is what? Wajib or permissible. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the fawahish haram, Allah made the things مثلا النكاح halal. If the fawahish are haram, then the nikah is halal. Also from the adilla for this qaida, Al-Ma'idah, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 3: اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. So when you're writing the qaida, you can write it as it is now. الدين, I'm just going to get up here. الدين مبني is based upon على تحصيل المصالح, attaining benefit. These benefits are not only religious benefits, لكن worldly benefits. على تحصيل المصالح وتكميلها, and completing these مصالح. مثلا إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. Verily the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم said, verily I have been sent to complete the beautiful akhlaq. ودرء المفاسد, and to prevent the happening of, or to prevent the mafasid, to prevent corruption or to prevent harms. وَتَقْلِيلِهَا, and should it happen, the Sharia came with تَقْلِيلِهَا, and lessening it. So the Sharia came with completely removing mafasid. Anything that has harm, the Sharia came with removing it completely. Lakin if it doesn't happen where it's removed completely, then the Sharia has also come with taqleel, or having takhfif of it, or make as little of it as possible. طيب, so that's the qaida written down as it is. This is an important qaida. Firstly, the verse, the second evidence was what? اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم, صح? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse tells us that He has Jalla wa ala completed the religion for us. وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي, and He completed His favor upon us. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased for us, for Islam to be our religion, or Islam as our religion. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us to have Islam as our religion. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has completed it. Now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah Jalla wa ala completes something, or tells us that it is complete, it means there is no deficiency or naqs in it. It means that everything that is good for us in the dunya and in the hereafter, it is to be found in this religion. Everything that has harm for us in the dunya or in the hereafter, in this religion we'll find something which prohibits us from doing so, or from doing it. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And we have not sent you except as a mercy upon the people, as mercy to the alameen. Everything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is called the alameen. طيب, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the messenger as a rahmah, as a mercy, mercy necessitates that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us or gives for us or legislates everything that has a benefit for us in the dunya and in the hereafter, and removes from us, distances from and prohibits us from everything that is harmful in the dunya and in the hereafter. For example, the scholars talk about ad-darurat al-khams, the 5 things that are the darura, or the absolute necessities. From them, ad-deen. From the things that the Sharia came to preserve is ad-darurat al-khamsa. Ad-darurat al-khams. Now these 5 are like the basic necessities that every Sharia came with. And our Sharia came with and has completed it. First one is the deen. How has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completed the religion? And how has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserved the religion? اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم الآية إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has preserved the religion, or has come from Him, the remembrance has come from Him, and He shall preserve it, the Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not worship other than Him. These are ways how Allah has prepared, or has preserved the religion of the Muslims, or our religion. Also an-nafs, life. How has Allah preserved it? وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. صح? كيف? Al-qisas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse tells us that He preserves life. How does it preserve life? It preserves life by everyone staying away from killing anyone else, or commanding people to not kill others. And if they do kill others, then there is qisas. So the fact that someone knows that they'll be killed, if they kill someone, there's a deterrent there. Also al-mal is from the things that the darurat al-khams that every sharia and our sharia completes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited us from eating each other's wealth upon batil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited riba. Al-aql is also one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sharia has preserved. Al-aql. So everything that, or intoxicants, or everything that takes the senses away from the aql, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it haram, such as alcohol. طيب. العقل والدين والنفس والمال, صح؟ والعرض أو الشرف أو النسب. The lineage of a Muslim or of a person has been preserved. How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated nikah, has made haram zina. Because if there's nikah, then the child is born in wedlock. The child is born as a halal child. Lakin if zina is widespread, then there comes fawahish, and there comes diseases and so on, and people are born not knowing their fathers. So these are the things that the Sharia has preserved. Likewise, the Sharia has also preserved even when a person faces harm, as we shall see. Al-mashaqqatu tajlu taysir. It has preserved the masalih, or the maslaha, or the benefit of the Muslim, even mathalan when he's travelling, where a person is allowed to, or is excused from fasting, is allowed to combine the salah, is allowed to shorten the salah, is allowed to wipe the socks for 3 days. Also, if a person isn't able to pray, from the masalih of the sharia is that he is allowed to pray sitting. If he cannot sit, lying down. So the sharia al-Islamiyya is salih wa muslih li kulli zaman wa makan. A person is able to implement it in any time, in any era, and in any location, in any place. And that is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has completed the religion. طيب. The masalih, how do we know what is a maslaha and what isn't a maslaha? The answer is that we know from, or if it's religious masalih to do with the akhirah, then we know via the Quran and the Sunnah. We know via the Quran and the Sunnah. Likewise, the mafasid, the harms, how do we know? Via the Quran and the Sunnah. The mafasid of the hereafter, the masail, the mafasid of that harm one's religion, how do we know? Such as al-shirk, al-kufr, al-bid'ah. How do we know that these are fasidah? By the aql and the shara'. By the aql and the shara'. طيب. As for masalih dunyawiyah, then we know via experimenting things. So we know things that are harmful in the dunya by way of experiment. For example, now, traffic lights. Is it a maslaha or mafsadah? Is it a benefit or harm? It's a maslaha. Lakin it's not in the Quran and the Sunnah. So can we say it's haram? Why not? It's a maslaha, it's a dunya, and we've come to know by experimenting. Knowing that if cars do not stop, then they're going to crash. Speed cameras, are they from the sharia? So can we say speed cameras are haram? Can we say speed cameras are mafasid? لا, لماذا? Because we know that wherever you find the speed camera, more often than not there has been, or there have been previous accidents. That's why they've placed the camera there. Whether you agree with it or not, that's something different. Lakin it's a worldly maslaha. And we find that the sharia doesn't go against the worldly masalih. The sharia doesn't go against the worldly masalih. It completes. That's why Islam is a way of life. So for those people who say, al-Islamu fil masjid faqad, that is haram, that's kufr to say that. Faslu din an dawla, as they say, taking religion out of politics, that is haram. That can lead to kufr. Because Islam is a way of life, a way of governing oneself, a way of governing the state. It's not just something that we pray in the masjid, pray 5 times a day, sujood, ruku', wudu, yalla, khalas. It's a way of life. Why? Because the one that revealed a sharia al-Islamiyya is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of everything. So the first qa'idah is that Islam came with الدين مبني على تحصيل المصالح وتكميلها, and completing it. طيب. So this is the first قاعدة. Carry on, the next قاعدة. No, before that. Yeah, that's the new one. Okay. Don't remember. You will find that lines 12, 13 and 14 are very similar, and they're on the same sort of Qawaa'id. طيب. Before moving on to line 13, there's a qa'idah that is also within this qa'idah, or the 11th, 12th line. الدين مبني على المصالح في جلبها ودفع للقبائح. طيب مثلا الآن we have مصالح and we have مفاسد. طيب مثلا توحيد is a مصلحة صح. You're able to what? Perform tawheed and stay away from the opposite, which is الشرك بالله سبحانه وتعالى. You're able to implement sunnah while staying away from bid'ah. You're able to pray salah whilst staying away from any other harm. مثلا salah we just prayed now. صح؟ طيب. When it comes to the harms, so the first qa'idah, I'm talking about the first qa'idah at this moment. If we hear something is a maslahah, such as salah, hajj, whatever, and we're able to perform it, then we can easily perform it, صح? If something is a mafsada, مثلا killing someone, stealing, so on, it's a mafsada, صح? We're able to clearly stay away from it, صح? So according to the first qa'idah, or the middle one there, we have to do the masalih and stay away from the mafasid. طيب. Now this qa'idah, درء المفسدة مقدم على جلب المصلحة, is the qa'idah that is known as taking or repelling harm takes precedence over obtaining benefit. طيب. Repelling harm, or rough translation of this, repelling harm takes precedence over obtaining benefit. Where does this qa'idah come into? It comes into a person being faced with a maslahah, a benefit, like in there's a harm connected to it. There's a harm that is connected to it. Or a person wanted to stay away from a mafsada, but there is a maslahah in it. There is a maslahah in it. طيب. مثلا الآن الدليل for this قاعدة, write down Surah Al-An'am, verse 108. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
just to clarify, because I'm kind of confused with the qa'idah. This new qa'idah, Da'ul Mafasid, is it from 13?
no, it's in 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So qa'idah 12, the qa'idah that is الدين مبني على تحصيل المصالح. طيب. We're talking about masalih, which are يعني things that have complete masalih, and there's no mafsada in it. At-tawheed, is there any mafsada in it? Is there harm? La. As-salah, no harm. Hajj, no harm. طيب. Al-kufr wa-shirk billahi subhanahu wa ta'ala wal-bid'ah, mafasid, صح? So we can't say they are, or we can't stay away from them. La. The masalih you do and the mafasid you stay away from. But, however, concentrate, Abdullah. However, there comes a time in some masail that there is a maslahah in it and there's also a benefit in it. There is a maslahah, there's a maslahah, benefit in it, and there's also a harm in it. For example, jihad fi sabilillah. There's a maslahah and a mafsada, صح? The maslahah is what? لإعلاء كلمة الله سبحانه وتعالى, for the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be most high, and the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be most high, and for people to worship Allah Jalla wa ala alone. Lakin there's a mafsada in it, which is what? Being killed and never coming back. صح? طيب. So do we say because of this mafsada we'll stay away from jihad? La. So when we're talking about this qa'idah, we have to understand that if there's a benefit and a harm to be found in one action, we have to look at the benefit and the harms. If the benefit outweighs the harm, then we implement this act, or we do this act. مثلا الجهاد في سبيل الله. الجهاد في سبيل الله. There's a maslaha. صح? We've said the masalih. And there's a mafsada, you've just said, of getting killed. Which is greater? The reward, the maslaha, the benefit that comes from jihad fi sabilillah. طيب. So in that case, what do we do? Jihad, صح. طيب. Al-Khamr has a harm and a benefit, صح? وإثمهما قل فيهما إثم. الآية, what's the آية? فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس. طيب. Ithm, there's a sin in it. ومنافع للناس, and there are benefits. Which is greater? The harms to be found in alcohol or the benefits to be found in alcohol? The harms. So in that case, what do we do? We stay away from the harm. And we don't look into the benefit of the benefit that one can attain from alcohol. طيب. So the first instance, what was greater? The maslaha. We have an act of ibadah, jihad مثلا. In it there's a maslaha and in it there's a mafsada. Which is greater? The maslaha. What do? We implement that ibadah. And we do the act. Alcohol, drinking alcohol, or any other ma'asi that have benefits. We have a mafsada and a maslaha. Which is greater? Al-mafsada is greater. So what do? Stay away from this. طيب. Can't we implement this qa'idah there with the alcohol? Though al-mafsada مقدم على جلب المصلحة. عفوا, for the jihad one, can't we implement this qa'idah? Though al-mafsada, removing the harm, takes precedence over the actual act, or obtaining the benefit of. Why not? The reward is greater. طيب. So for the first one, the jihad was greater. The reward, the maslaha of jihad is greater than the mafsada that is connected to it. For the second situation, the harm that is connected to drinking alcohol is greater than the benefit that one may attain from drinking or selling it. صح? طيب. So where can we implement this qa'idah? We implement this qa'idah if the mafasid and the masalih are equal. We only implement this third qa'idah if the masalih and the mafasid are equal. مثلا, from the examples that the scholars mention, if a person, or if we go back to the Quran, Surah Al-An'am, I said to you, صح, the dalil for this qa'idah, 108. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ, do not abuse those, or do not swear at those, الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, those gods that they are worshipping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ, so that they worship, that they swear at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, abuse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ, without knowledge and upon oppression. طيب. In here we have a maslaha and a mafsada. The maslaha of swearing or defaming the gods of, or anything that is worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is there a benefit in that? What is the benefit? You defame them, you discourage the people from worshipping them, and you're warning against them, and you're rebuking them and so on, صح? To the extent that you degrade these idols that are being worshipped, or these things, entities that are being worshipped other than Allah. There's a maslaha in it. And there's a mafsada in it. Which is what? فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ that they swear at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and abuse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a maslahah and a mafsada. And you can say they're equal. You swear at their God, they swear at your God. Sah? What do we do here? We implement this qa'idah. We say dar'ul mafsada, preventing the harm, muqaddam, takes precedence over jalb al-maslaha, then bringing about benefit. The benefit of what? People staying away from their gods and their gods being degraded and lowly and kada wa kada, sah? That's a benefit. Lakin because of the harm there, we stay away from it, sah? طيب. Why have we said we implement this qa'idah in this one and not in the other ones, in the other situations? Because they are equal. Another example, مثلا, a person wants to pray. A Muslim wants to pray, lakin he doesn't have water and he doesn't have anything to make tayammum with. And the salah, the time of the salah is about to leave, finish, end. So he's faced with a mafsada and a maslaha. The mafsada is what? La. The mafsada, not having wudu, praying salah without wudu. The maslaha is what? Praying salah. We're faced with a mafsada and a maslaha. What do we do? مثلا what do we do here? المريض لا يستطيع الوضوء فاقد التراب. صحيح. سيلي بدون طهارة ومصلحته وهي الصلاة. So what do we do here? Even though he doesn't have wudu or he doesn't have tayammum, he prays. He prays. Even though praying without tahara is a mafsada, lakin leaving the salah is greater. درء المفسدة مقدم على جلب المصلحة. So you pray the salah even though the mafsada is there of what? Praying without wudu. طيب. سمع وطاعة is also another example. مثلا الآن سمع وطاعة, if there's a ruler who's oppressive, whose oppression has reached the highest levels, in it there's a mafsada. By you obeying him, there's a mafsada. Lakin there's also a maslaha whereby people will not oppress, rebel and perform khuruj. So even though this mafsada is there, lakin the maslaha in this case is greater. So you wouldn't leave off that small mafsada for attaining the greater mafsada, the greater maslaha. مثلا الآن there's no maslaha in you obeying him, lakin in harm in going against him there's a harm, which is that this oppression reaches everywhere, like we see everywhere now. طيب. So this qa'idah, درء المفسدة مقدم على جلب المصلحة. If ever you find that the harm and the benefit are equal, then you should stay away from that act.
You know, in regard to the people that go to Hyde Park, for example, they, when you're there, the Qawaa'id is that it's free speech, you can say whatever you want, and no one's going to harm you or whatever. And you can't get angry or whatever the Father say. So they could curse the Prophet, curse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, etc. So in this situation, can we apply that principle, the second one? Or do we have to, because they need, obviously, in terms of going there, the place is there for people giving da'wah and others, etc. So do we still go to give da'wah, knowing at the same time they could also curse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger?
That depends on the hikmah that you use. Like in the verse, as the first verse states, مثلا الآن if you go there and you start saying Jesus this, Jesus that,
yeah, of course.
طيب, they're going to say Allah this, Allah this, Allah that. صح? Like with regards to you going there and giving da'wah, more often than not people won't attack you by either defaming Islam or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, there are the few insane people around. Like, more often than not, for you saying what you want to say, you won't really encounter people like that. Like, there's another thing that you've mentioned, Hyde Park. مثلا الآن, say you're in Hyde Park and there's a takfiri there. This is from the Qawaa'id. Has the belief of the Qawaa'id. And then there are kuffar there as well. In general, you refuting a Khariji, there's what in it? A maslaha, sah? The fact that you're refuting him and you're making his belief batil and so on, there's a maslaha. Like, given that situation there, in Hyde Park, with kuffar around, non-Muslims around, there's a bigger mafsada, which is what? Debating him, for example. In debating him and refuting him, there's a bigger mafsada, which is what? People can think Muslims are not united. And Islam is a religion of falsehood. Why? Because he's saying he has one God and one book. He has one God and one book. Why are they killing each other? Why are they attacking each other? Why are they refuting each other? That kafir can turn and say, listen, when you guys agree on something, then I'll come back to you. Sah? So we say, dar'ul mafsada, repelling the harm of what? The kuffar leaving the religion, or not entering the religion, or staying away from the religion, muqaddam ala jalb al-maslaha. Muqaddam, it takes precedence over bringing about benefit. The benefit being what? In this situation that we're talking about, the benefit being? La, the benefit being refuting the takfiri.
What happens if the takfiri, for example, if he's supporting like this suicide woman and all of these other things, and he says that?
Yeah, that's different. Because the reason why it's different is because this non-believer will automatically be against him anyhow. He'll say, you're crazy, you're killing people. So you've already got the upper hand with him. So you're actually, in that case, you're showing the beauty of Islam, that Islam is a peaceful religion, and so on. So the people that are listening in this case, they're not going to say, two Muslims arguing. Lakin if you're saying, مثلا, قال الله تعالى الحكم بغير ما أنزل الله, we're talking about حكم بغير ما أنزل الله, ومن لم يحكم ما أنزل فأولئك هم الكافرون, قال ابن عباس, and you guys are talking about this, these masail ilmiya, the kafir is not going to understand what on earth you're talking about. So to him, just two people debating. Likewise, not only in Hyde Park, lakin, مثلا الآن, if there's a person that is practicing, lakin he's a hizbi, for example, and you're in the masjid, you have the correct i'tiqad, he has a batil i'tiqad. Lakin the awam are there. If you start debating with him over masail, مثلا الخروج والحكم بغير ما أنزل الله وموالاة الكفار, if you debate with him in front of the awam, to the awam, what does it show? What will the awam see? This what? La, they won't understand nothing. It's mutawwi'in. Two mutawwi'as having an argument. That's what they'll see. That is exactly what they see. They will see that you have a hat, they have a hat. The other person has a hat. Your thobe is above your ankle, his thobe is above his ankle. All of you are practicing. What are you arguing over? So I remember a friend of mine said to an old woman, they were talking about something, and he said the scholars differ over this. She said, oh my nephew, why don't all of the scholars just get together and agree upon something? And genuinely speaking, it's true. Why don't they just agree on something? لأن حدث الناس بما يعرفون. Talk to the people according to their level and their understanding. طيب, so even it doesn't mean hide the haqq, لكن it means use wisdom. وبالله توفيق. Carry on. Quickly, we're going to finish off. Sorry Fahad, 1 second. Write the qawaa'id like this. as we've only taken 3 qawaa'id. Next lesson inshallah we'll take whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permits. So write them down as qawaa'id like this, and it'll be good if you can summarize it for yourself and it benefits you. So the first time we finish it you'll have a summary, the second time you can add on to that summary, the third time then you can add on to that summary as well inshallah, and you'll have a complete explanation. Don't be lazy, just write it down. Don't worry about taking pictures of the phone, just write it down. It's better to get used to writing Arabic, because a lot of people just leave it in their gallery and it's not in their books. It's more important to have a book than to have a book and next that you're writing rather than taking pictures. Go on, Fan. It would go back to the context. It would go back to the context, طبعا. Because مثلا if the majority of the hadirin or the majority of the people that are present are young Muslims, مثلا, more often than not, they may be, or they're prone, there's a liability there that they may be misguided by this individual. So the context is to be looked at. I'm talking about in general. If you're in Hyde Park and you're in front of non-believers, more often than not, they're not going to see that this person is talking about he's a Khariji and you're a Salafi. The Kafir is not going to say this is a Salafi and this is a Khariji and they're having a debate on Masail Ilmiya. Again, that goes back to context. Just like the mas'ala to do with the masjid. For example, if there's a Hizbi or Mubtadi' and you're in the masjid, it doesn't necessarily mean that you keep quiet. There are situations when you're going to clarify the haqq. There are situations where you're going to clarify the haqq. مثلا if he stands up and says, let's go out for khuruj and for 40 days and so on, and you're a person who has sha'n or status in that masjid and people are going to listen to you, or you're the imam. If you're the imam and people are going to listen to you and take your advice, you can't just say people are going to think two mutawwa's having an argument. La, you clarify the haqq. So طبعا it does depend on context and the scenario that you're in.
I was going to say, just to add to what Bob was saying in regards to the kuffar or fear of the kuffar cursing Allah and His Messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورَ وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. So you're in Hyde Park and places like that where you do debates or speaking to anyone, even colleagues at times, you always have the option to just walk away, just like Allah mentioned. So you don't witness to a level and cursing.
And it's not